Hello and welcome everyone. I am here with composer and musician Kenny Boerner, and today we're going to be introducing a great song to you called Christmas Is that he has written just in time for this holiday season. You're going to enjoy a performance by our tennis friend Rich Ridenour, and myself just after this brief interview. So welcome, Kenny. It's so great to speak with you.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here, and I really look forward to hearing you and Rich doing Christmases.
Awesome, awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your musical background, Kenny.
Sure, I have a bachelor's degree in music therapy from California State University, and also a master's degree from Ohio State University in counseling and social work. And
Wow.
I was fortunate enough to put those two things together and work in the mental health field for about 35 years using
That's
music
amazing.
and counseling to help people.
That's amazing. Wow, well done. It's exciting to combine those two disciplines. That's awesome. So how long have you been songwriting? That whole time or?
Yes, and I've been songwriting since I was an early teenager.
Okay.
I grew up in a home where my parents played just a variety of different music on what was called back then a Victrola.
Okay.
Everything from country music to Broadway show tunes to classical music to the great old famous crooners like Frank Sinatra
Awesome.
and Tony Bennett. Um, and then when I was a teenager, I learned how to play the guitar. And when I was a freshman in high school, up to that point, I played a lot of sports. And
Okay.
I was wrestling on the wrestling team. I didn't know it. I had this diseased bone in my femur, and I broke it. And I
Oh,
spent
wow.
a month in the hospital and walked in crutches for over a year.
Okay.
But my parents, in their wisdom, they bought me a piano, so I learned to start playing the piano as well.
Okay.
And I think that's really what led me to my career in music therapy and counseling. You know, my desire to want to help other people. Um, this also led me to write songs about causes and issues and concerns. I was always inspired by singer-songwriters, who crafted really meaningful lyrics.
Okay.
So I was fortunate. I had grown up watching the Jerry Lewis telethon.
Okay.
I wrote a song for Jerry about the muscular dystrophy cause,
Okay.
and I always thought that it was great that all the singers performed on the show and gave their time, but didn't feel like anybody really wrote something having to do with that
Right.
cause. So I
Right.
wrote this song called "Tell Me Why" and
Okay.
made a simple recording in the Detroit area and sent it off to Jerry, hoping he would get it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a pretty, difficult task. But a couple weeks before the show, I had gotten the producer's phone number, and I called, and before I could say my last name, he said, "Kenny, we got your song, and Jerry loves it. He wants to
Wow.
perform." So I performed between the late Harry Chapin, who's one of my favorite songwriters, and another great pianist, Peter Nero.
Wow.
Um, so that was a dream come true.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a huge
Yeah, and then that
accomplishment.
yeah, and then that kind of led to another accomplishment. I was fortunate enough to be the opening act for Roy Orbison,
Wow, that's
one
so
of
cool.
the pioneers, in rock and roll.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
the,
Wow.
the man who wrote Pretty Woman and
Yeah, it's
Crying
wow,
and
that's
Blue
amazing.
Bayou.
Yeah, it's
He
awesome.
was. I was just supposed to do one concert with him in Michigan, but the show went really good, and I was able to go out for dinner with his band and my band, and I was able to share some of the evening talking with him. He was so kind and supportive, and
Awesome.
then he asked me to do another show with him a few weeks later.
Wow, that is so great. What a great story. I love that. That's awesome. What do you want to tell us about Christmas is?
Well, Christmas is a song that reminds us the reason for the season is not about buying expensive, gifts.
Right.
Although, having kids myself, who are now grown and grandchildren, I do fall victim to that myself sometimes.
Well, there's nothing wrong with extending generosity, right?
Right, but
It's nice
I
to
always
give.
ask myself, why do we do this?
Right.
But anyway, my faith is very important to me, and so it led me to write this song, to remind us that the real reason for this season is about the birth of Christ, and spending time with friends and family,
Right.
and also helping those in need, that are less fortunate than us.
Right.
Yeah, maybe it's just putting that dollar in the Salvation Army kettle in front of the grocery store, or even better yet, buying some groceries and giving them to the homeless person that unfortunately we see on our street corners,
Right.
or maybe visiting an elderly person in a nursing home who doesn't have anybody to share the holidays with.
Right.
And then as the song says, celebrating love, joy, and peace.
Yes. Yes, it's beautiful. And I think everything that you just mentioned about thinking about others, I think, well, at least I'm very fortunate to see this. Very often the holidays can bring out the best in people, where they feel like, oh, I'm going to be more generous. And yes, indeed, give that extra dollar or donate food and everything. So I love seeing that and being a witness to that and doing it too, because it feels good to give back
Does feel
to
good.
your community. Yeah, it does.
I'm so excited about you and Rich recording it.
Yes, yes. Well, you'll hear it very, very soon.
Yeah. And as you know, Rich is one of our tennis friends as well.
Yes, he is. He's a wonderful friend, amazing musician, pianist, conductor, performer, jokester. So
yeah. I feel very honored that you're going to do it, and that Rich is gonna play the piano.
Yes, it will be awesome. So anyway, so coming up now, you're going to hear our performance of Christmases by Kenny Boerner, by me and our friend pianist Rich Ridenour. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.